Hi there, welcome back. My name is Aura. I am your crypto astrologer, and I'm going to be breaking up the information throughout the week. So make sure you subscribe so you get all the different information I have to share. Monday is going to be devoted to an overview of what's coming with the astrology for the week, just general astrology. Tuesday, I will put out the Bitcoin astrology for the week, like the crypto, specifically crypto astrology. Every month I do a timing report where I look at the astrology for the month for members, and also I look at the astrology for the coming month on Bitcoin. Bitcoin basically leads the entire crypto market, so the Bitcoin astrology is specific and separate from the general astrology. So I'm putting both of these out separately. I may talk about silver in the Monday astrology or on the Tuesday astrology. I'm also going to start reading some excerpts from the more than 60 channeled messages I have on my website around various different cryptocurrencies and the shift of energy. The 3D, 5D split that we are currently heading into in a really strong way. So these will also be here on this channel. They'll just be excerpts. The channel, I mean, there's more than 60 of them. I do one a month, and they're for all kinds of various different cryptos and what's going on with us energetically and how things are shifting on the earth. And I've been talking about this for years as we're now heading into sort of critical zone, critical time in these changes, including this time of universal judgment. So let's get started. Let's look at what's going on with the astrology for this week. So first of all, this week and right now, today, Monday, moving into the date of the change of direction of Neptune, which is the 11th, which is a few days from now. So Neptune is slowing down, and it will make a station direct on the 11th. So as that is happening, we have a lot of aspects that are causing restriction and problems and challenges, like in a very, very powerful way. And this is specifically related to some of the more or less AI-driven algorithms. Okay, so many of you who are here now, there's not many of you because I had a previous channel that was shut down, and it was shut down by the algorithm, by AI, and the review was done by AI. There was literally no humans involved, and there's actually a very big hashtag going around on X because it is about this exact thing, because there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are experiencing this. The hashtag is hashtag AI, YouTube AI wrongs creators, okay? And so you can go to X and you can search that, and you'll find a whole lot of various channels in different categories, but particularly focused in the cryptocurrency space. They have been shutting down cryptocurrency channels. So, and I'm literally the first person in my category, so there's literally no reason for them to have shut me down. I didn't do anything wrong. However, that is what's going on. And this isn't just affecting me, okay? I've posted quite a few things in my Telegram group, which is free, and the link is in the description box below. Please join if you would like some more heads up insight on some things that I obviously can't speak about here. The stuff that has to do with some of the music that is being created, there's a very hypnotic energy. And also AI has done, it's I don't know how to say this out here, but it's doing a really thorough job of limiting information. One of the things that is liked here on this platform, and pretty much all platforms, is if any one video, it should be about one topic, and one channel should be about one area, right? And so astrology literally is about everything. I can talk about anything under the banner of astrology, but it kind of violates the ideas that the algorithms are about, because the entire internet is based on keywords, right? Google, search engines. That's the way that AI is changing the flow of your interpretation of various information, okay? Because it is able to guide the flow of information based on various words. And that is why information has really changed. And sort of like your interactions with people also have changed because of this segregating and separating of ideas. I grew up and people could talk about anything. All kinds of things would come up in a conversation. A conversation might meander. You would have free associations. That has really changed because of the way the internet is directing information. So now what is happening is that that information is being flowed in a specific way, okay, by the AI algorithms. And of course, this is also very, very tied in with what's going on with the stock market, which is entirely being propped up by the Magnificent Seven stocks, which are all heavily invested in AI. Of course, there's a lot going on with AI data centers. There's all this stuff. So the astrology is telling me there's this very intense, strong energy that is directed by these kinds of, highly complex thought patterns. Okay, let's just say that AI is one of, there are other things that are like this that are sort of going on behind the scenes that are directing the flow of everything. So, I mean, how do I say this? It's basically like you have to be very careful about what you're looking at and what you're getting in terms of information, because there's an editing of the way we get information that is going on. And I want you guys to just be aware that that is going on, and it's happening in a very extreme way this particular week. And also a redirection of your attention away from one thing and towards another. So there may be events happening around the world that might be perhaps reported on in other countries that are not showing up in your feed, okay? Because instead, all you're going to get is stuff about Charlie Kirk. And meanwhile, I have watched many, in fact, nearly all of these top level creators who get a lot of attention, who are given a lot of playtime, who are spoken about a lot. I've watched them all change their tune or like move or switch their agendas. Okay. And that is by design. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully I'm not being too roundabout with this, but the point is you have to be very careful about what you're watching. You have to understand that there's a very, very sophisticated thought forming concept behind whatever is being allowed to come forth for you. Okay, so that is number one, and that is also really profoundly strong this week. Okay, extremely strong this week. All things related to these arenas, really, really strong this week. Maybe something will come out, maybe not. I mean, probably it can't because of the way that things are being, quietly, sort of the furniture of the room is being rearranged. Let's put it like that. So, and then you're being blindfolded, so you don't even know your way around the room. That is how I would put it. Now, I don't think the AI business model is as great as everyone says it is. I don't even think that all of this technology is as great as you've been led to believe it is, right? In terms of all the earnings and all of this, in terms of the stocks and pushing the prices higher. This is not really sustainable. I mean, we have all these data centers being built that are using astronomical amounts of power. They're polluting the water of the area in which they are being built. So the people who live near it are getting noise pollution, water pollution. They're paying 4 or 5 times their previous electric bill in order to foot the bill for these data centers. And all the data centers are being built with the NVIDIA chips, which are quickly becoming obsolete. So by the time the data center is built, the chips are obsolete. I mean, how fast do these chips get obsolete and need to be replaced? I mean, I would say being really generous and giving them a lot of time, I would say 18 months. But really, they probably need to be replaced like every 6 months. That's how fast the technology is amplifying and growing on itself. So just know that things are not at all how they appear on the surface, okay? Just in the algorithms and also with these things that they're building and with the technology, okay? However, there is some very big stuff coming in the financial markets within a short period of time. And these big things are related to the liquidity issues that are going on in the market that I've been talking about to members for a couple of 3-4 months at least, about how we're headed into a liquidity crunch, we're headed into a liquidity crisis, and they're going to do something to solve this liquidity issue, okay? There's only 3 things they can do. I talk about them in the member calls and what they are going to do and what they're setting up to do right now. So there's been a lot of news over the weekend related to this, but we're also dealing, and one of those is the precious metals. The issue they have, of course, with doing the gold revaluation that many people have talked about is where does that leave silver? Okay, they have to keep silver repressed. That is absolutely, they have to keep the price of silver down. That is absolutely the key fundamental factor for allowing the development of AI, for allowing the development of all these technologies that we use, solar, medical devices, every TV, every cell phone, all of these, every car, every EV, all of these things. The entire development of the Western world is based on cheap silver. So with silver shooting up in price, and it will continue to do so, it will escape. Even though they can control the price on the COMEX, sort of, when they do that, other countries are buying it all up, and that's where they are. They're between a rock and a hard place, where the silver is leaving. It's going away. They don't have it to back the contracts when other countries are demanding the silver be sent to them at these cheap prices that they're repressing. So what are they going to do? Well, it's going to implode. Basically, what's happening is that it's breaking out and going up in price. And this is also happening right now this week. Things are going to get really wild as we head into the weekend because Neptune, as I said, is changing directions, and that's having a big impact on the precious metals and on what's going on around precious metals. And a lot of things that have been behind the scenes, have been secretly going on, will be coming to the surface as Neptune turns direct. As you remember, Saturn went direct a couple of weeks ago, and Saturn and Neptune are conjunct. So now Neptune is turning direct as well. So together, these two things have to do with secret stuff, things that are happening on behind the scenes, especially related to the government and, of course, precious metals and all sorts of things. A lot of things are related to the Neptune energy, specifically actually energy and your life force energy. So we're going to see some really strange things happening in the coming weeks and months. Be prepared, because this has to do with a lot of that 3D, 5D split shift, energy shifting that's going on, and we want to be on the take command of our energy and upgrade ourselves side of it, okay? Because there's a lot of coming around and turning around and karma, that is karmic return, that is associated with this. So there's just a lot happening with this Neptune stuff, and this week we're going to see a lot of critical things coming to the surface related to AI, secrets, the government, precious metals, the food supply. There's a lot going on in the food supply, medicine, a lot of this, okay, that is, and as the coming weeks unfold, it's going to get even more intense, all right? So that is part of what's going on. Another thing that's happening here in the early part of the week, as you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is a really strong energy, not just with the metals, but also with the idea of peace deals around the world and secret deals and like money deals with various countries that are going to get, it's an attack of some sort, okay? Trump has said in words that if the United States was to lose the reserve status, it would be like losing a WAR. And that is what's happening, okay? And there's a lot of things going on around the world that are about this, and they're very much about sort of just battle for control of various world powers, okay, battling for control against each other. So it's interesting to watch them when they fight each other, because, you know, what do the children do when the parents are fighting? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, well, is this country going to be in charge? Is that country going to be in charge? There's a lot happening, and none of them can really trust each other because they're all trying to get one up on each other. It's very, very, it's a very complicated chess table right now, okay? And it's going to lead to more escalated events and more escalated things happening around the world. These apparent peace contracts, I don't see that. I see a lot of underhanded changing of the guard happening. I don't think we can take them for face value, is what I'm saying. Things are going to change. They're going to change rapidly, and it's not going to stay how it is. So what they're saying about it, right, that we have deals met, I don't think they're going to be kept. I think these deals are going to be broken very, very quickly, actually. And then as we head into the weekend, there can be transformational news, massive, big breaking news. A lot of the challenges that we're experiencing this week are going to sort of break down as we get into Friday. And then there's going to be sort of a breakthrough and a breakout. I'm not saying necessarily any specific thing, but a breakout of news, a breakout of information that kind of clears the way or changes the field, right? So if you've been experiencing obstacles and delays and sort of areas of your life that have been clogged, boom, whoosh, it's all going to start to clear. I know I said this a couple weeks ago. It's another level of clearing. Like we got some movement a week ago. Now we're going to get a lot more movement, and it's going to be very rapid fire. If there have been areas of your life that have been stuck and stagnant, there's going to be movement in a lot of different things at once. I know this happened with me. I had a lot of things just kind of fall into place very, very quickly, which sort of transformed like everything about the way my life looks at the moment. So that is what's going on. And you could be experiencing very similar things. This could happen with jobs. This could happen with living situations. It could happen with cars. This could happen with loans, credit, any of it, right? All of these things could be affected by these rapid fire changes that are happening. So that's the forecast for this week. Be prepared to take quick action, especially as we head into the weekend, because those moments are going to show up very, very quickly. And then also make sure you subscribe, because I will be doing the Bitcoin one on Tuesday. Also, make sure you go visit my site, auraright.media, where I post all this stuff there, so you can always get all the most recent information. Sign up for my Telegram group. That's free. The link is in the description box below. Also, you can find out about membership here on auraright.media, where you get the most top drawer and long-term information that I'm seeing. I'll be posting some clips from the channeled messages, which are like years old, that are talking about things that are happening now. So make sure you subscribe. Okay, talk to you later. Have a good week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.